Oh, there we go.
Hey, hold on. Keep stalling. I'm getting a coffee.
Oh, okay.
All right, we got to stall because Coach Tomsula needs.
Wait, I want to get some coffee too.
Grab a coffee. I'll be right here. I already got one.
I have my teapot
There you go.
right here, but I don't have any coffee.
That's a nice Christmas tree Coach has got there.
It is a really nice Christmas tree over there. I kind of feel like I am FaceTiming my grandpa right now.
You can tell Coach that. For those who don't know, while Coach is getting ready, just to give a little backstory, former San Francisco 49ers head coach, spent 13 seasons in the NFL, was the Ryan Fire head coach in 2006 when it was part of the World League, the NFL Europe, and has since come back to Europe, come back to Germany, and obviously won the ELF championship this year with the Ryan Fire, was named coach of the year.
Obviously.
Basically did everything you can do. And there he is, Coach Tomsula.
Guys, I'm sorry.
It's all good. You kind of look like you're in the middle of a Christmas movie right now.
Yeah, you know what? I wish I was, damn it.
Okay. There you go, Coach. Merry Christmas time. Hey, Coach, appreciate you coming on the show. Got a lot of questions for you. First of all, going into the offseason after winning a championship with the Ryan Fire, sometimes it is difficult to retain a roster. Once people win a championship, sometimes people go. They get the ring and they go want to do other things, be a star at some other teams. Are you guys, how is recruiting going for 2024? And you seeing any residual effects from the championship there?
Well, guys, we kind of take a different approach at the Rhine Fire. In my, years ago, I was a college football coach, and it was recruiting and all that kind of stuff. And never in my life have I had to de-recruit a guy, which means we go out and we tell you all kind of fancy things and nice things, and then once we get you to sign a piece of paper, things change, and we start to de-recruit and do that stuff. So we don't really take that approach. What we do is we speak to guys. We earmarked a group of players that we want back, that are core to the team, and we get conversations going with those guys. But again, we don't get into a lot of things right there at the end of the season, because quite frankly, I tell our players, to me, you're making a mistake, because salary cap, the salary cap's not distinguished yet, and you're going off of old numbers, and then you sign pieces of paper as a player, and you sign them early. You're locked in. You've made an agreement, and then the salary cap changes, and maybe there's more money in that salary cap, and maybe there's things that can be done there. So we keep that there. We have signed players once we do have that information. So we've been signing players, but then we keep communication going on with guys, very honestly, to go through it, because at the end of the day, we do a lot of character work, seeing and when I say character, the makeup of the guy, the person, because we want to have it. We're talking about our day to day. So going to practice, you play 12 football games, and then the playoffs and championship and those things. So, I mean, you're talking about 12, 15 days. But there's a whole lot of days that you're spending together to build that, to go for those 12 to 15 days, game days. So we want people, when they come to practice, I want somebody getting in their car coming to practice that's excited as hell about getting to practice. Excited as hell to be with the players, the teammates that they're going to be with. So, and to me, that's one of the greatest things about American football. Okay, is the idea that it really is a team. I don't care how. I mean, obviously, I've got two great players here. One just retired, and you understand that no matter how good you are, if your surrounding cast isn't there, you can't do it on your own in football. Cannot happen. Does not happen. It is the true team sport. I can't just dish it off to you and you fire up some threes. Okay, I can't kick the ball over there to you and you dribble down the field and score. It takes the whole group, and that's what we're focused on. And we're focused on putting those pieces of the puzzle together to where guys can come in, they can be together, they can enjoy their teammates, that pureness of the football team. And any of us here in football, when you step away from it, I don't know many people that say, "Gosh, I miss the game." They're all going to tell you they miss the locker room.
Yeah,
they miss the interaction with the players, and that's the way we approach it. It is an honest thing. I'm very honest with guys. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to treat you right in Rhine Fire. We're going to walk around and we're going to hold our chin up and tell you, you come to the Rhine Fire, you're treated in a first class manner. We're going to treat you that way. Contrary to maybe other people's comments, we don't cheat. We play by the rules, okay? And we're going to do that because, quite frankly, having two sets of books, and it happens in pro football all the time. It happened, CFL almost shut down years ago because of those things, and quite frankly, it's terrible for the league. Okay, the league's not going to make it if there's any of that underhanded stuff going on. So we try to keep things the straight way. We talk to people straight up, and we don't really necessarily use the word recruit. We discuss. Now, there are some guys on our team that from last year that we earmark. And again, we are in pro football, guys. Football. All right. And we take that real serious at Rhine Fire. Like, for instance, we don't have a sporting director. We don't have a team manager. We have a director of player personnel.
Yeah.
We have an operations director. We have a director of administration. We have a medical director. We've set it up like a professional organization all the way down so that the way we communicate is in that way. But when you talk about pro football, you are talking about things that come into play, whether it be age, whether it be injury status, whether it, those are just, quite frankly, honest things that we have to look at. And so those are all the things that come in, and we don't do things fast and quick, and we're not looking to win a press conference.
I like that. Not looking to win a press conference. You touched on it a little bit there, Coach, of how you run things in a professional manner, and you have these positions that are professional positions here. But it is still American football in Europe. You coming from your NFL experience, American football in the United States, and then coming to coach American football in Europe, there is a little bit of difference in kind of handling the situation differently. Can you talk a little bit about adjusting your approach or tweaking anything for the European game, for the European world of American football?
Well, I'll go back to a couple of things there, and I'm not trying to give you these 2-hour answers, but I grew up at 26 years old. I was hired for the England Monarchs in the NFL Europe, the old World Football League, in the NFL Europe. So that was 1996. We got people on this screen that maybe weren't born then, and spent 10 years. So I wasn't at Division I colleges learning my craft. I was in Europe. Now it was a different way because we were bringing over American bubbles with American foot. It was completely flipped on the way it is right now. We had 4 or 6 international players, homegrowns, okay, and everybody else was American. Okay, so you were developing young players for the National Football League, and then there was a little side caveat that, hey, let's look at, maybe there's some international talent here, and got very involved in the international talent side of it. And it's really cool to see where it is now. In 1998, I think it was 98, I was in a room with a guy named Tony Allen, and I don't know if everybody knows that, but Tony actually coached with the London Monarchs. I was there with him, and when the Monarchs shut down, Tony became director of player personnel for the NFL for the entire world outside of Canada and America. And I went to work for Tony, And I mean, we were everywhere. We were all over Mexico, South America. We were all over Europe. I mean, all over Europe. And we did combines, and we started. I was sitting in the room, and our defensive coordinator Richard Kent was with us. And Richard actually stayed and lived in Germany after the NFL seasons, NFL Europe seasons, and he worked in the development for NFL International. And we just fell in love with the whole program. And I think it was 98, we were in a room with Tony Allen, and he came up with this international player program that you guys might know as the IPP.
Yep.
And we were sitting in that room when Tony started talking about that. And then he started talking about having an academy. This is 1998.
Wow.
And that academy came true in London, right outside of London there, just a few years ago.
Yeah.
So we were involved in those things, and it was so freaking cool. I mean, I've been on dirt roads. I think I was in Belarus. I'm not even sure. With Tony looking for a 6'6" offensive lineman that I couldn't even pronounce his name.
Wow.
So wild things, and it was always a dream to come back to Europe. But what we have now, when you talk about changing or adapting, people want to look at the NFL right now, and they want to compare ELF, it's pro football, ELF compared to the NFL and that kind of stuff. Well, we structured our organization to be a professional football team. So it's structured that way. Is there the money? No. Is there that lifestyle? No. But what I try to tell our players, and I try to tell you guys, and it's, if you go back and watch old NFL films from the 50s and the 60s, even the early 70s, the NFL players had day jobs.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
And in the offseason, they had to go find a job somewhere in a city, and they had to work a job. They went to practice in the evenings, and they played games on the weekend. That was the old starting points of the NFL. And you can see that on a lot of those old NFL films. Wow. And I try to tell our players, that's what you are. You're the pioneers of this thing.
Wow.
Exactly. See, I love that. Yeah, the pioneer.
Let's not compare this to the NFL today. Right. It's not. Sure. But let's compare it to that.
Yeah.
And in my career, I was able to, those guys always fascinated me. So I was always able to go talk to those guys. Some of the old guys that come back and they'd talk about working in you talk a couple of those old Green Bay Packers, my God, they worked in a meat packing plant.
Wow.
You talk to some of the guys with the old Steelers, they were working in a steel mill. And to listen to them tell their stories and the pride that they had in it. Now, they didn't make the money.
Right.
But this is where, to me, this is where we are in pro football in Europe right now.
Wow.
And it excites the hell out of me. This is a dream come true for me. The entire time I was I'm luckier in hell that I was able to coach in the National Football League and all those things. I'm grateful. But I got to tell you, the greatest job I've had, maybe the most important job I've had, is the one I have now. And
wow.
It's so pure. And when you come back and talk to people, and you guys have American roots, my God, I explain to people that you go to Germany, a guy has to go buy his own helmet for $500. Then he buys some shoulder pads. Then he shows up and says, I want to play football. But now he has to pay the club to join. Then God forbid you make it to the playoffs and it's an away game, because everybody's got to pitch in their $45 to pay for the bus.
Right.
Okay. You want to talk about passion. You want to talk about purity. You want to talk about all the great things that football stands for. That's what we have in Europe right now. And I'm able to be there to coach. My wife's able to be involved in them. Are you kidding me? This is dream come true.
Wow.
I love that, Coach. That gets me hyped up. The passion. Silas, were you about to say something?
Well, I was just going to say that. So this is the reason we got beat 55-0.
No.
It's the passion for the game. That's why. Sorry, guards.
No. It does. I mean, the success of the Ryan Fire points to the fact that you actually care this much. And my biggest question, which you answered just in sharing your story, was why someone like you would come to Europe and be this invested in, because I've seen a lot of American coaches come over, and majority of them come over and are disappointed the whole time about the lack of money and facilities and management and all that stuff. And so my question, which you answered in your story, was why did you come? And you answered it's the purity of the sport that you get to be a part of, and that's awesome.
But really, guys, when you talk about it, okay, seriously, you love to compete. I get that. All right, you two guys are athletes. Again, we've got a young guy here just retired, so that blood, that pump in your heart in competition is still very, very new, and it's still there, right? You're working through this transition and things like that. But really, everybody talks about loving the game. Oh, you got to love the love for the game. They talk about you got to protect the game. They talk about you got to do good for the game. Everybody's always putting this thing out there about the game. Well, the question I always ask those people is, what is the game? Okay, so for me, the game is people. The game is players. And there is nothing I love more than being around a group of young men. And I get more aha moments and more excited in a practice when a guy's been trying to do something for 3 or 4 days, he's working on it, and then he gets it, and he comes to you with his big smile, or you see that smile happen when it clicks. Dude, these guys, the way they're doing it and what's going on. So really, when people give you all this malarkey and all these quotes and all this stuff, okay, what is the game, dude? I mean, do you like to sit and draw up plays? I got to tell you, that's the thing I hate the most.
Yeah.
Watching film, love dealing with players, but now I got to sit down with a pencil and a piece of paper. I feel like I'm in math class.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn, Coach, your passion for the game, it is very obvious, and it's something that's really inspiring. I think exactly what you said. These guys are kind of like at the pioneers of American football growing in Europe, and it's just such a cool thing. And damn, Coach, we could talk to you all day about this stuff. We appreciate you coming on. We did hear that you have some news for us.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anything you would like to say to the people?
You're talking about my man.
I think I might be.
Yeah.
You want to share the news?
Yeah, I'm supposed to let you know. Well, we're excited to let you know that Glen Toonga will be back with us.
Wow.
And hopefully not just for 1 year, but for a while. And he's the things I want to speak on Glen real quick about. Everybody knows he can run the football, and he's a tremendous football player. But what I'd like everybody to know is what a hell of a teammate he is. What a good person he is. How damn excited I am that he is part of our program and in our community. And the Rhine Fire, we spend a lot of time in our community. And we want to be a partnership in our community, part of our community, our fan, everything. I mean, gosh, we had a combine the other day. There's 500,000 people there. Okay. and Glen Toonga, just the way what he has done in Dusseldorf, and the way he has carried himself, and the way he has his humble approach, and just the way he's done things has been terrific. Okay. And I'm just so excited about the person and the football player.
Wow.
Amazing. Coach, thank you so much for your time, for your insights. I'm sure everybody was thrilled to hear everything you had to say and everything you're doing for football in Europe. Thank you so much.
Wait, don't leave yet.
We do.
There he is.
The man. Glen Toonga, welcome to the show.
Wait, don't leave yet. There he is.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, Glenn, you're watching the show on YouTube, aren't you? Wait, don't leave yet. There he is. Oh, Glenn, you're watching the show on YouTube.
Yeah, I am. I'm watching it on YouTube. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, you need to pause that.
Yeah, I took it off. I'm here now.
Yeah, you got to turn that down, bro.
What's up, guys?
Glenn, can you hear? Are you with us here? Can you
Yeah,
hear
I
us?
can hear you guys. Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Very nice. Hey, Glenn, I mean, you just heard Coach Tomsula talk about you, not only who you are as a football player, but who you are as a person. How does that feel to know that your head coach feels that about you?
Coach is my guy. I appreciate Coach. I love Coach. He's my guy. Like, from my first conversation, he's like had my back and he's been like consistent with that throughout the whole year. So yeah, Coach knows I love him. I appreciate Coach so much. The Coach is my guy.
I wish I had a coach talk about me like that.
The problem is my wife loves Glenn.
Julie, it's
They do a. We have a class at
our German class.
Yeah, we have a German class where our non-German speaking players can go to class every week to learn the Deutsch. And
That's perfect.
my wife's partner was Glen Toonga.
Yes, sir.
There
I
we
didn't even know
go.
it was his wife.
Glenn, how is your German coming along?
Slow. I'm getting there though. I have this like podcast on Spotify that I'm listening to. I'm getting there slowly. Hopefully in
There we
like
go,
a couple
man.
years time, I'll be there.
There we go. So,
Glenn,
yeah, go ahead, Silas.
kannst du mit mir Deutsch sprechen?
Yeah. I would love that. Yeah. Yeah.
Mein Deutsch ist sehr gut.
Look
Ich
at
kann
this.
Yeah.
reden.
What he said. That's great news.
International
Yeah.
show we've got here, guys. Glenn, how's off-season training going? I was talking to Coach. We were talking to Coach a little bit about it. I mean, you guys are kind of at the pinnacle of American football in Europe with that dominant season and everything. And you personally, obviously having the season that you did and the performances you had, where are you at mentally? How do you stay at the top mentally when you've been achieving this stuff?
You want another one. Like, I'm never satisfied with one. I like to win all the time. I like to compete all the time. I always feel like there's room for me to improve. So I feel like that's what keeps me training, keeps me going. I always feel like I could do better. I could be better. So that's just like my mindset all the time. So yeah, we won last year, but this year's a new year. Can we be a better team? Can we be better individuals? Can I perform better? So that's what keeps me going.
It might be hard to answer this with Coach right here on the stream with us, but did you ever consider any other teams in the ELF? I'm sure a lot of people are after you.
No, I always knew I was going back to Ryan. Outside of the football side of things, and obviously we went undefeated, we won a championship. I think what stood out to me the most was how welcoming the guys were when I first got there. Obviously going there late, like it felt like I had been there this whole time. Coach being consistent with who he was. I feel like some coaches do a really good job of being like nice when they're trying to recruit you, and then they become this different person once you're there or after you win. But Coach has been the same person throughout, and so have all the other coaches. So for me, it was like super obvious that I was going to go back to Ryan if they want me back. So yeah, back there.
Absolutely, man. And yeah, I mean, it's just what Coach was saying is, you're not trying to put on a show or performance or anything in the recruitment. And it's, about recruiting people and people that fit with you guys' organization and your guys' culture. And kudos to you guys.
If you had heard my first conversation with Coach, it was hilarious.
What was it?
I told everyone. Coach told me, straight away, he told me, we're going to win the championship. But he told me, I want you to come along with us. I want you to be part of this journey. In fact, you have so much more to do. And then, from there, I was like, oh, damn, okay. He's like, yeah, we don't need you. He's like, we don't need you. We got all the guys we need. But I want you to come along. And then from there, I've just been like super bought in. And I was like, damn, okay, this is someone who actually like cares about the individuals and not just about winning a championship.
Yeah, man. And I mean, you had so many great plays throughout your
right now.
Yeah, there you go. We're actually here to negotiate Glenn's contract with you, Coach. We're representing him. Glenn, you've had a ton of great plays throughout your career and throughout this year. This year, any plays in particular that stick out to you when you watch yourself on film? You're like, damn, that's pretty legit. Pretty proud of myself.
Definitely the hurdle in the finals. That's definitely that's an easy decision. Mainly because I never used to be able to hurdle people. It's something I've actually just started learning how to do. And then to obviously score in the finals in front of all our fans, in front of my mom. That's an occasion that will stick with me.
Okay, nice. And Coach Tomsula, what, if any, plays jump out in your mind? Maybe there's a different play that maybe jumps out in your mind of your favorite play of Glen that encompasses who he is as a player.
Well, it wasn't in a game. It was in practice.
Okay.
And Glenn came through, and I always stand in the back watching from the back. And Glenn came through. He took the handoff, and he came through. It was probably the first or second practice he was there. And I coached against a guy named Edrin James a long time ago. And Edrin could make what I call a jump cut. And actually, it's a cut without ever sticking your foot in there. It's like it happens with your feet off the ground. And it's a way that you get downhill as a running back. And Glenn come through there, and he's working. It was his own play, and it was to the right. And Glenn came, and the tackle was working over the top, and then he punched that inside shoulder out. And Glenn followed that block. And just as that happened, phew, it was a cut, and the acceleration through the hole was like I couldn't wait to get home and watch that on tape. And I didn't want him to know I was that excited, so I actually turned around.
Hey, we're gonna need some footage of that play. We're gonna need somebody to dig that up for us.
Woo.
Yeah. Jeez. Hey guys, I mean, we could talk with you all day. Silas, do you have any other questions you want to hit before we have to let the guys go?
No, I'm just sitting over here in my feelings, thinking about having a coach talk to me like this. I can't. I don't know if I've ever had a coach just encourage me the way that you have with Glenn. Glenn, you have a great coach, and don't take that for granted.
Oh no way!
Don't take it for granted.
No way, coach is the guy. He's the guy.
Glenn,
guys,
already signed the contract, buddy. Hey, you're signed.
You don't have to keep up the show. You're signed.
I need that 3 years like Holland. I need that 3 years, coach. So I'm trying to get.
Yeah. Hey, you're next, Glenn, on the long-term deal. There you go. Guys, thank you again so much for coming on the show. Thank you both for everything you're doing for football in Europe, for the ELF. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. It gets us so excited to have guys like you involved in everything. And we appreciate it so much. And thanks for giving us the time today to talk with us and to talk with everybody.
Anytime.
Thank you to what you guys are doing.
Coach wants to go back into his pool.
Thanks, Coach.
Leave you to it, Coach.
You guys get back to it. And you guys have a great Christmas.
Merry Christmas, guys. Take care, man.
Merry Christmas.